Shalom, it's me, Sun and Skye, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. And we're taking on our third dungeon. This game's second dungeon, technically, but we decided to skip this, but we're taking this on now. This dungeon's filled with a lot of these snake enemies called ropes. They're called ropes. Which reminds me a lot of this enemy, or an ally that we make in a game called Mother 3, which is the sequel to Earthbound, my favorite game by the way. And we make a friend called, well, it's a snake called Rope Snake. That is the closest connection I can make to this game and Mother 3. But yes, this dungeon's filled with a lot of those. I like to boomerang it and then hit it, because these guys like to charge at you, and faster than the eye can see. Just kidding. Not that fast, but they do come at you with the quickness, which is something I dislike. But as you saw in the beginning of this Let's Play, we had the ability to actually name this character that we're playing as, whose name is Link, essentially. Little known fact. But this game, oddly enough, is called The Legend of Zelda, which I usually would have a problem with. Way back when I had a problem with things in games. This is the Moon Dungeon, by the way. Or the Croissant Dungeon, one of the two. And actually, I always thought this boomerang that we're throwing looked like a croissant. Well, anywho, enough making fun of the limitations that this system had. Before I go on that tangent with the names, you want to, I don't know which room exactly. I think it might be this room to the right, but every time you go up in the dungeon, you want to try to take a detour to the right until you find this room, with the, I forget the names of these guys, but the boomerang guys, because you will get the magic boomerang from these guys if you defeat all of them, which lets you throw the boomerang all the way across the room. Before, our croissant boomerang did not have that ability, but with our blue banana boomerang, it can go all the way across the screen. Yeah, magic, ooh. Yeah, and this is a actually odd enemy choice. Just red balls, destroy them all, and you can move on, I guess. A very awkward enemy. But Link is this guy's name. And we had the ability to change his name, which is a thing that Nintendo... The funny thing about Nintendo, they say don't change his name to anything other than Link. Yet they give us the ability to name them, so why give us the ability to name the character if you don't want us naming him? Of course, I'm pretty sure they didn't have a problem with this with the first few games, but as of late, Nintendo has been on their weirdness as of late. But this enemy is called the Dodongo. It is a Triceratops-looking creature, and the only way to defeat this guy is the use of bombs. If you bomb a wall somewhere, you'll find an old man in this place. Oh. That's unprofessional. Let me put that away. Dodongos dislike smoke is the advice that he gives, and that's supposed to tell you that you can place bombs. Let me turn my phone off. There, nice, fine. My phone is on silent. There will be no more interruptions from a Steven Universe sounding ringtone, which, by the way, Steven Universe, excellent series. I recommend it for anyone. In fact, I've been in the making of creating a video for Steven Universe on my other channel, so be wary of that. Anywho, back to the Link. Nintendo doesn't want you naming him other than Link, but they gave us the choice, so I named my character Skink. It is the Legend of Skink. Actually, no, Legend of Zelda still. They call it the Legend of Zelda. I don't know why they did. The game is about Link, but I mean, it partially has to do with Zelda, because like we are trying to find pieces of her Triforce in this game. So I don't know. I'd take it up with Nintendo. Which I mean, because of this naming scheme that they decided to give the games, it's actually a joke at this point where people think that Link's name is Zelda. And similarly with the Metroid series, and I make this joke a lot, I always call Samus Metroid. For anyone who ever gets confused as to why I always call Samus Metroid, I know her real name. I just make fun of the fact that the series is called Metroid, when her real name is Samus. So no one has to worry about me confusing his name. Anywho, as you saw there, and I guess in one of the previous parts, there was a fairy floating over a fountain. That fairy heals you to full health once you encounter it. And yeah, that's pretty much all it does. And that is a thing that is carried on throughout the whole Zelda series. There's going to be fairies that you're going to be seeing floating over ponds. And this is how you get to the 4th dungeon. Man, I'm really proud of myself. The first part, we didn't take on any dungeons. Now we're already on the 4th dungeon? What is this? Let's not pat myself on the back too much. We still got a whole game ahead of us. But I do believe that this game is actually when it actually tests your ability as like a dungeon crawler. It stops holding your hand at this point. As if this game was holding your hand at any point. But these bouncy whatsy who's it's, forget their name. If you have too weak of a sword, like I do now, once you hit them, they split into these bats, which are called keys, or keeses. They're spelled like Reese's, but with a K instead of an R. But this is when the game starts throwing dark rooms at you. You want to light up the rooms with your blue candle. That's how you take care of that situation. A funny thing about the creation of the name of Link, I forgot to say what I had to say about that. Originally, this game was supposed to have you in a more of like a sci-fi setting where like Link was a time traveler, and he was going through time collecting pieces of circuits, and I guess that's where the name Link came from, because he was supposed to do with technology and links, and yeah. Link. Other people might think that it might have to do with his link, like the link to the other links, like as in like the links in the timeline. Yeah. Names. Making, you know, the third entry into the series, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, make a whole lot more sense. Okay, I'm done with this whole name thing. But I guess that's like with the new game Breath of Wild. I guess that's just Legend of Zelda going back to the roots, back where it was first supposed to be like a time traveling game. Maybe all this technology is gonna have Link go to the past, like without some weird fantasy magic helping. But that game's gonna be pretty weird if it actually does that. That thing's gonna like change the whole Legend of Zelda like idea. Like, what if Link actually like goes to the past and like stops Ganon from like ever being like created? Like goes to the other Links in the other timelines and actually like Stops them, and like there's like it can be a whole like Legend of Zelda Generations, like Sonic, but with Link and Zeldas. Oh. Anywho, we now have the I forget what it's called. The step ladder. We have the step ladder. We can go across some, you know, empty pieces of flooring, like this blue stuff that we couldn't walk across before, but now we can with our step ladder. Of course, the step ladder only covers over one block of space, so we can only go over one square unit. By the way, I don't think I grabbed a map at this point, but this is the lizard dungeon, because it looks like the head of a lizard, or something like that. Walk into the waterfall. No. No thank you, old man. We're not trying to kill ourselves. Actually, there is a secret behind there, which we will go to eventually. We'll see what lies under that waterfall, or maybe not. If I forget, or if I did forget to, I'll make sure to tell you guys what it was. I mean, if the old man is telling us to go, and we're in the part of the dungeon where we have to go through it, there's no avoiding him. It must be something important. Anywho. You guys might have noticed that I mean, when I leave the dungeon, I don't use every single key that I could have. Yeah, it might be a good idea to use as little amount of keys as possible, because in the last dungeon, there are quite a few doors that you have to open, and you might want to be wary of your key count. Of course, you do have the option to buy keys from the salespeople, but the keys are super expensive. They're 100 rupees each. So you know, just you know, save up on keys, because they could open any door that is locked. Oddly enough, they are the keys to anything. The keys to success. So every time you grab a key, you always want to take another one. Yes, and this is another room where you have to push the block. It's both push the block and kill all the enemies, so, you know, you wouldn't have been able to push that block had you not destroyed all those enemies. And this is Gliok. I know I forgot to talk about him in the last few dungeons, but yes, he's a two-headed dragon. Each of the heads take 4 hits from the white sword. They take 8 hits from the regular sword. Bombs won't work on him, just use your sword. Try to be very strategic in the fight with him, and you should be pretty good. I personally had struggles with him in the past. He's not my favorite enemy to fight, but you know, if you do what I did, come in with a pretty hefty amount of health, and you should be good. We did not grab the map to this dungeon, but or the compass, but you don't necessarily need either of those to complete the dungeons. And now we're going to go on a little speed run. I'm gonna speed things up so we can get to a heart container pretty fast. So I'll see you guys then on the other side.
Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Can't stick around, have to keep moving on. Guess what lies ahead? Only one way to find out. Must keep on moving ahead. No time for guessing, follow my plan instead. Trusting in what you can see. Take my lead, I'll set you free. Follow me. Set me free, trust me.
I just saved you guys a few minutes of suffering, of watching me wander around to find a heart container. That's pretty much all I was speeding around, just like me wandering around, because it took me... This map is, like, large, like, it is humongous, and Link is not too fast of a walker, or a runner, or whatever he's doing in this case, but, you know, if you guys need to find the heart container, it's just all the way to the right of the map where you can take the step ladder to step over those platforms, and yeah, that's it. And the next thing we're going to get is the bigger croissant, the red ring of power, which gives us the ability to move rocks around. Before we can move blocks in dungeons around, but you know, we could already do that without the ring. Now we can just move boulders over with great strength. And it was under this Armos. We got the croissant of power. I think at the time of the recording, I did not know which Armos it was under, but I knew it was under one of these. And now we're going to get the strongest sword that we are capable of getting, the magic sword, which will, I think it's gonna double the strength of the white sword, or it's gonna quadruple the strength of the white sword. I forget the actual like power ability of the magic sword, but I'm pretty sure it takes out those centaur guys in one swipe. It's pretty powerful. Yes, we will venture into this graveyard soon. We will fight the come at me bro ghost, but master using it and you can have it. We have mastered the white sword, so now we can use the magic sword. I'm pretty sure I don't know the actual reason why what he's referring to when he says master using it, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about like the previous sword that we had. But I guess it takes 3 swipes to take out the Lionels. But yeah, that's my personal belief on what he's talking about when he says master using it. And now that we can move boulders around, we can go through secret passageways. So you guys won't have to suffer through wandering anymore, now that we have quick shortcuts as to where we can go on the map, which is going to be a whole lot easier when we're backtracking or trying to find a dungeon. But that is the ending to this part, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And we're going to take on the 5th dungeon in the next part.